Welcome dart players one and all. Today on Straight to the Point we're going to be travelling from South Wales all the way across the world to America. We're doing this to coach Jules van Dongen ready for the World Cup, just to be held in Germany. So I should be out there for that as well. But a lot of you will know Jules has been really struggling now for the best part of 2 years, over 18 months solid. He definitely has a mild case of dartitis, otherwise known as the yips from other sports. However, this has come off the back of a physical injury, and hopefully when that's fixed, it will be even better. But for now, that's all we can do is try to find a grip that he can keep finding as repetitively as possible. Because at the minute, his darts were barely hitting the board. When I got there, it was pretty bad. First thing I did was make a little assessment on his throw. You can see his hand comes off in different shapes. And the shoulder's lifting quite excessively at times as well. If you look from side on, you'll see the shoulder kicking in even more. All of these bad habits primarily come off the back of him not being able to find his grip. He's had a lot of problems with his thumb, which is connected to a problem in his neck. For some reason, that thumb keeps spasming up, but there is nerve damage in the neck that's connected to that tendon. So we firmly believe it's come off the back of that. If you look at his middle finger by here, see how it's sticking under the point? That's one of the biggest problems. It keeps catching on the dart all the time, and the thumb keeps bending inward excessively. So we developed this little trick where we start putting the middle finger under the dart, and we're trying to get the point slightly further under the dart as well, pressing on top of the dart as little as possible. Just whilst I'm on it, big thanks for everyone who watched this clip and give it a like. This had 30,000 views on Facebook within 24 hours, which was absolutely unbelievable. So if you are following Jules on that platform, I really hope you enjoyed some of the content we put out. If you're not, why not? I'll leave a link in the comments for you. But when I got there, I was actually beating him. First game we played, no warm-up to be fair, so the standard's a little bit lower, but yeah, I wasn't expecting to beat Jules at all this week. But his game's definitely gone downhill quite a bit. Let's see what we can get him to by the end of the week. And the only way we're going to get that better is to try to find a grip that he can find consistently. And even if he does pick it up wrong, or his hand does spasm, he can keep going back to it. This was the best grip we could find for him. So he's gripping further back with a longer dart, making contact on his lower knuckle. The lower knuckle on the index finger and the thumb are pinching the dart. So there's some pretty firm tissue there rather than soft. And look how much better they were hitting the board. That was a quick improvement that we found. And it's something we stuck with for the whole week. Middle finger down. When you pick it up now, when you feel for it, try to feel for the grip whilst keeping the middle finger down. Honestly, it's like, yeah. Now, a little bit of work on the mindset and trying to implement it. So when I mean playing with expectation, I don't mean as in you're going to be nervous, as in you're sweating, you're shaking. You don't need to tell, you don't need to be told when you feel that nervous. But there's the difference is trying. See, but there now, you're not trying, you're just doing it, 180. And the grip looked the same. We need to get you doing that whilst trying. Now, there's a fine line between trying and trying too hard. There's a very fine line between trying too hard and actually trying. Wow. So we need to get your mindset to the point where you can switch off, think about how it feels in your hand, and just concentrate on the line with the first dart. Once you've got the line right with the first dart, go at it with the next two. Now just go at it. Now go at it again. Good down. 1080, 60 down. Do it again. Feel for that grip again. Now go at it. Don't worry, it's straight. Keep the line. Concentrate on the lines, not so much the treble. The trebles will come. I'm promising you, you're too good not to hit them. Look at the treble 20, but 90% concentration on the line. Follow it. Just follow it. Think about how it felt. Now see, when you're trying to relax, you're fighting yourself.
I jerked a bit.
But this is so what you're going through now is game on syndrome. Alright? Now, the reason I'm pushing you to do this is because I want you to go through the game on syndrome before your game. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because you're not completely at peace with your game, you're going to have the Amon syndrome. It's going to happen. But I want it to happen in the practice board, not in the game. So we need to play bad on the practice board a little bit. But as soon as you've got your head right, you're going to start implementing that throw whilst trying. If you can get to that by the time you go on that stage, you're going to fly. If you don't, you're going to fake. So the goal is, we should do it now. Okay, step back, switch off. Think about how it should feel. Look at the treble, flick it straight. Look at the treble, flick it straight. And when you're trying to flick it straight, good treble again. Aim the dart back here from here, alright? Remember we talked about the gap? Throw back and pause. See? So a bit of a line there. Okay, keep it the same on your thumb. Keep hitting the same part of your knuckle. Keep that calf the same. So when you're flicking forward, well, aim it at and you just over it. Throw back. This. Push. Keep lifting the thumb with the back of the hand. Lift the thumb. The base of the thumb, you still lift with it. Bang.
Okay.
Bang. Go again. Feel for that grip. Forward, that's lovely. That's lovely. Beautiful done, 40. Beautiful. Be the same. At least a big 20, good treble. Good ton. This is better again. But you're doing it without thinking so much. You're concentrating, but you're not thinking about what you're hitting. Just thrust your hand forward. Good treble again. Good treble. It was 2 treble 5s and a treble 20. Play. Concentrate on the line with the first dart. Now aim at the treble. Thrust forward down the line. Ooh. Spread it off. More thumb. Lift the thumb more. Further. Okay, now we got to try to get the grip together whilst lifting the thumb. Make sense?
Yeah.
Aim it up. Good. Good. Yeah, I mean, the first 2 darts were perfect. The last one, little deflection, but it was still okay. In a game, probably would have switched then anyway. Flick it more and fly straight past it. Wrist back more. Back and pause. There. See cutting the gap? Starting to flick higher. Get it back more. Find the pause. Yes. So 40 again?
Yeah.
This isn't the player I just beat. This player would hammer me. I couldn't even give you a game right now. 10-40? Tell me, Jesus. Yeah. Now I'm going to need a drink and a good practice to keep up with it. Just to keep up with it. I ain't beating you though. Jesus. Now come back. Walk past the hockey. Switch off. Don't reflect on what went wrong. Think about how it should have felt. Think about how it should have felt. Step in and execute. Good. We acknowledge something's gone wrong for a split second and no longer. Acknowledge it's gone wrong. Walk past the hockey. Think about how it should have felt. Now step in and execute. Visualize. Think about how it feels and execute. You don't think when you're throwing. Don't think. Keep it going. There's a good ton last visit. And there's another ton again. Yeah. Come on, boy. You're doing it. You're doing it. You got this. You got it. Another treble. Another treble. Just flick it.
Done.
Knows very well.
Yeah, if it's
consistent.
As if I hold it right, it's
It's consistent though. It's consistent. 10, 10, 10, 10. 10, 40, 10, 40, 10, 10. You were going. You see the pull?
Yeah. Well,
Past the hockey.
it went,
You threw across yourself again. You moved your elbow. You dropped your elbow, moved the elbow left. Think of how it should have felt. Execute. Good. Dead center. There's a treble 20 as well. Threw across. Right, that's 3 times you've thrown at that now in the last few starts. Step back.
with that one, do I release it? It's like a...
No, you're moving the elbow in as you drop the elbow, which makes the elbow come in. And as your elbow comes into your left, your hand is always going to rotate, and the dart will miss the one. Hand for elbow, still hand forward. Elbow, still hand forward. Elbow, still hand forward. When you get the elbow, still hand forward, you get 1 or 2 occasional 5s, normally treble 5s, but 90% on the strike. Yeah. 27 out of 30 darts are in the 20. 2 to 3 of them are in the 1, in the 5 most. 10, 40. Now we're going. Yes, Julesy. Keep it the same. And when I do your alignment with you, those 5s are going to start washing up as well. We're going to try to get it to 1 out of 30 darts in the 5 at most.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think the elbow I've always had that. Like it moves while I draw breath.
I think it is. We've always played with a very high elbow, yes? Up there. Now the problem is, if your elbow is up there, your release point's going to be here. Which means your wrist and fingers are going to be flicking down as you let it go. If you let it go slightly too late, you're going to pull it a lot. When you get time it to perfection, it's going to go well. But we don't want to play like that. It's killing your consistency. And there's a common denominator between late release and dartitis. Yeah? Look at players with dartitis, what's their arm finishing up there? Even before they get... Remember I made a video on Aspel? Did I tell you about that? I made a video saying that he's had a very high probability he's got it. And that... even though you were saying he didn't have it, you know? And people like... I had a lot of people message me saying, take it down, it could get in his head. I said, look at that. But it was only statistically probable. That was 2.5 years ago. Now he's got it really bad. Go on, you can fit 3 in there. I know it's landed awkward, but it'll still do. Hit that dart. Good effort. You tried too hard with the last one, though.
Yeah.
That's what you hit one time.
Type in the...
Alright, relax your shoulder. Keep it sunk as you pick the dot up. Beautiful dot. Flick forward. See? Keep that elbow still. Don't let it move in. Then you're nowhere near the ones. 10, 40?
No.
10. What else? The elbow still. Get forward. Beautiful.
Well,
Pass the yogi. Think about how it should be.
that's the same with the left when I cross. That's how they, you know, it's the same, I guess, concept that I...
Exactly the same concept, just more advanced to coach. Because it's much smaller. Look at more. Look at more. Good ask. Only 60, but at least they were all on the wire. They're all solid. If we play in the World Cup and this becomes a butt, so we've got it. Let your fingers move. Wrist back more. Open it. Bang. See the angle on that dot?
Yeah.
Slightly more direct. Better. Let your fingers move. All the way back. Let them move. See, that's that angle again. I don't like it. It's too much. 18s. Flick through. Oh, you got control. Yeah, good dot. That was pretty blocked, to be fair, dude. Control time. I would have switched. So even though, right, the first 2 were on the wire and the treble 20, they should have felt mustard. They looked really good.
Yeah, that's why I threw the second one there too.
Yeah, it was so good. 94 still a good score, a good 18 for the last one. But treble 20 again. Think, so you thought of everything in.
think about it. It was just a lazy dart.
Yeah.
It's like
You over-relaxed.
Yeah, and I think the elbow was out and I released that way. Yeah.
Now, see, this is psychological because you're trying to relax into the throw, which is good, but you still need to concentrate on how it feels. Concentrate on how it feels, not what you're hitting. If you think about what you're hitting, or try to think about nothing, completely nothing, you're not natural enough yet to do that.
Yeah.
Think about how it feels. Just how it feels. Think most players, even at pro level, still think about how it feels.
Take 2 minutes. I think when I played at my best, the grip was very soft.
Yeah,
And it was not pushing. It was just throw me.
that's what you want.
And once you get in that zone, it's basically the dart lays in your hand. It doesn't really
Sits there.
Yeah.
The bars, the grip is perfect. That's perfect though as well. Treble 20. Deflection. Good 10.
But yeah, I think I have to figure out how much, because I do this, right?
Yeah.
So,
It's very small. Okay, it's this. I'll show you. I'll show you the exact amount. So look, whenever you do it, as long as you keep the shaft in that knuckle, it should be very small. Don't let it change from that knuckle. So as long as you keep it there, it's not going to be too much. And we can all agree that was far, far better. But if you're going to play for America, you're going to have to do some American things. You won't get a much more American room than this. What? It's the Dongen mobile. Cruising in a golf cart. Isn't that?
Yeah, so there's about, I think, 900 phones at Ablehead. So we're on the Boulder side, in there.
It's the most American place I've ever seen. It's like Disney Channel. And this was definitely the most American trip I've ever been to. A beer shop with a beer barrel attached to the building. How cool is that? Texas Roadhouse, thumbs up from me, what a steak. And some great friends we managed to meet as well. Some of you might remember Brian from my New York video. Well, he was good enough to come out and see me, and look how much better this throw has gone. Elbow and shoulder down the line, hand straight forward, gap between index finger and thumb straight down the line. And he did actually beat me. We did quite well in the darts tournament as well together. So his game's doing pretty damn good. But let's go even more American. Monster trucks, why not? Definitely the most American thing I've ever done. Yep. And then some more steaks. Because they're just so good in America. They're just far better than the UK. It's one thing you can do is make steaks. And then let's go even more American. Why not? Genuinely one of the coolest things I've ever done. Bring them to the UK. I'm just kidding. But Jesus. Yep. Jules not a bad shot on this. Fair play to him. Some of those bigger misses were with a 9mm, to be fair. That was much, much harder to shoot. And a big thanks to all of my American students that came out to see me, and just some that have watched my YouTube channel. It was awesome. Yeah, played a couple of soft tip tournaments and a tournament in Jules' place as well. And the amount of people that came out was pretty cool. That came forward that knew me. Even the student, but they ended up turning up wearing the same one of my shirts. Which was a little bit funny, but I loved it. Yeah, definitely one of the best weeks I've ever had in the sport. And after the darts tournament, of course, you got to finish a keg. Why not? Again, it's just an American tradition, surely. Yeah, beautiful night with some beautiful people. Definitely the most American trip I've ever had. New York was cool. This was absolutely mental. Really, really American. And Jules is a great guy, to be fair. Now, we're going to have a quick look at a game we played at the end of the week. Did have a bit of problem with some of the footage, so it's not all there, but we've got most of it. I have had a rekey in some of the scores as it was originally played on Scoria, but I couldn't screen record his Apple tablet. It wasn't compatible with my device. But we do have most of it. So we joined it in the first leg. Jules on 134 after absolutely blitzing me. But there was the little restart, and that was good because even though he picked it up wrong, the middle finger caught on the dart, the finger spasmed, he reset himself and still hit the big number. And that's really important. I think when you've got any sort of dartitis, you can't rely on being perfect all the time. It doesn't go away that quick. But if you can learn to reset yourself and go again, that's a very big help. We've just got to make sure we get him confident enough that he can do that on the big stage. Now, when I played him at the start of the week, this was a huge problem, was darts flying on his doubles. They just weren't going near. The first one was very close, but then he had a flyer on that double six. And that allowed me to put pressure on him. So at this point of the game, I remember thinking, is he going to let me come back at him? Is he going to mess this up? Am I going to be able to steal again? Especially after I saw that dart. But that was rhythmic. And that was rhythmic and in. And at that point I thought, yeah, he's not making the same mistake. Even though it's not the best leg, at least he hasn't given that away. And now I'm going to have to hit something. Which I did, 1-3-4. It's a lot better. That's looking much neater on the average. Yeah, needed that shot. I wasn't actually using my darts this week as well, so I wasn't playing as well as I could. Jules really took a liking to the darts I was using at the start of the week. So I've been using these all week. I just stuck with them for the last day. But I've gone back to the set I originally had now that I've come home. But I must say, at times they went really well. But they are a bit lighter. A little bit less front heavy. It was a little bit strange. I'm playing the soft tip tournament, 18 grams and no grip at all where I hold them. That was interesting. That's a solid 97. That's good. Especially after a bad visit. They were all there. You know, the score side, 97 is not a bad score, but the darts were good. They were all there or thereabouts on that visit. And that's what I was really interested in with Jules. Getting those darts to hit the board firmer. But there he's moved his elbow in too much. He's mistimed it and missed the 5, which was a common mistake. But great corrections. And they're hitting the board well again. I wish I'd filmed the darts actually staying in the board, but even if I had, I might not have put it in the video. It wasn't pretty to see. The darts were hanging in. They were so loose. He was getting so many bounce outs. At least now, even when he doesn't get it 100% right, it's firm. He's got a foundation to improve on again. Keep the elbow still, flick it forward. Because it all goes back to that grip though. All those little mistakes of using the shoulder too much, lifting the elbow, it all came back to him not getting the grip right. And because he didn't have that grip right, he's trying to force them in. And this is the thing with problems with the grip. As soon as it goes wrong, it starts having a knock-on effect. A domino effect on all other aspects. That was a bad dart, but these misses to the 5, he goes through patches where he's getting this. But until we can start getting the grip consistent, we can't really fix it. If you look back on the little session recording I put in there, when I told him to lift the base of his thumb more, lift his hand through, the 5 disappeared. And Jules knows how to do that. He does know how to do that at this point. And there are patches where he's getting it right. But by here, he's definitely fighting with his grip again. That looked sweet though. No hesitation. Again, no hesitation. Can you do it again? Beautiful. And he's beat me. Good hit. But no hesitation at all. I remember saying to Jules at that point, but there in the game, that I'm not getting away with the same mistakes. The next leg, there was someone in the background, so I've had to skip it out. But I did get 3 darts at a double to take the leg and made an absolute hash of it after Jules missed the ball for an 81 checkout. 9, double 8, clean in 2 darts. And just like that, he's up 3-0. I'm not even touching the sides. Not even getting close. Yeah, other than those 3 darts at a double, I absolutely blew. That was it. 83. Decent start. And if I remember, I think I played quite well in this leg. And Jules had a bit of a scrappy start and came back, but it's so strange watching it back. You can never quite remember. Yeah, there's the 5 again with Jules. That is a big problem, but we're not going to be able to work on that fully until he gets the grip right. When he was getting that grip right in the week, I swear the 5s just weren't there. 1040. Yeah, my scoring's good. All of a sudden. 83, 1040. That's better though. That's going to be a 1040 surely. It is. Yeah, he's fixed the leg. And again, it looked rhythmic, it looked fluent. As soon as he picked the dart up, it was going. If he hits that grip, he's good. And that grip was all about getting the thumb further back on the shaft and supporting slightly under the barrel. Getting that index to make contact in the knuckle. Again, fluent. He's just fluent. He's flying. That's beautiful. I mean, I'm not going to be able to beat him when he's throwing like that. That's absolutely awesome. He's put pressure on me, but I tried way too hard on that dart. Yeah, I look like a different player all of a sudden throwing the first one. That's what professional dart players do. They put pressure on. So it was nice to see him doing that again. Can you compose? Big dart. But to be fair, that's pretty unlucky. All on the wire. It's a bad visit, but who hasn't done that? Everyone at some point's done it. That's good for myself again. I'm picking it back up and it's a good few trebles of it. So I'm going to get a shot to beat him. Reset. That was good. He did put a bit too much shoulder into that one again, but at least he found the grip and kept the line straight. He wasn't doing that at the start. When he misgripped, he was barely getting them to the board. It was quite bad. Missed tops. These darts were so light that I kept dropping low on tops when I was trying to flick it in, so I really tried to compensate on that one. And I way overcooked it. But he's taking me out with a double. Double 8. Yeah, that's solid. You know, it's nowhere near as good as he can be. But for the majority of the time, he reset himself quite well.
Subscribe if you love the darts.